So let's go ahead and go to our third segment, which is going to be a bit of a mouthful, but it fits the bill. Find a player, pick them up all season long. You'll have good luck. With Myles Bloomquist, what fantasy player should we be aiming for, Myles, this upcoming season?
All right. Well,
Please don't say Matt Ryan.
No, I'm not actually going to say Matt Ryan. I'll start with the one that I alluded to earlier, which was Baker Mayfield, who I'm very high on this year. Because let's put it this way, their O-line alluded to by saying that I think he'll be MVP.
Alluded to.
But I got very good reasons why. Let's look at their O-line. Their O-line was the number one issue with Cleveland last year. Baker Mayfield was under fire all season long. They couldn't open up run lanes for Nick Chubb, which, I mean, was amazing because he still ended up being the second leading rusher in the NFL. But they go out and pick up Jack Conklin, who's one of the best young offensive tackles in the league. He's going to slot in that left tackle spot, which was originally supposed to be in Tennessee, but obviously they had Taylor Lewan, so he moved to right tackle. So you're going to see Taylor Lewan on Baker Mayfield's blind side. You move to the left guard spot. Joel Bitonio, who is I'd say he's a top 3 left guard in the league, maybe top 5, top 10 guard in the league. Super solid player, super underrated offensive lineman. At center, J.C. Treader. Not the best offensive lineman, but totally serviceable. A guy who got swamped last year because beside him there was absolutely no one. So he had pretty much no one to help him in the interior, but he's still a solid guy. Over at the right guard, this will probably be the biggest problem, but I like Nick Harris out of Washington, and this was someone they got in the 6th round, and it was a huge steal, in my opinion, Nick Harris. Once J.C. Treader leaves, he'll move back to center, kind of like how the Falcons drafted Matt Hennessy, who will probably take over that center spot when Alex Mack retires. But Nick Harris will slot in that right guard spot for the time being. He might not be an immediate impact, but judging by the talent around him, he'll have lots of help. So I don't think he'll be a total oh my god. Baker Mayfield.
Throw a pick.
That's great.
And then at right tackle, obviously their first round pick, Jedrick Wills, who is probably the best offensive tackle out of this class. A lot of people like Tristan Wirfs, a lot of people like Andrew Thomas, who's the most pro ready out of this bunch, but I think Jedrick Wills at the end of the day might be one of the best offensive tackles out of this class. So their O-line is, I would say, completely repaired, obviously, if potential pans out. Obviously, as Vaughn talked about, that Kareem Hunt is an amazing running back who isn't even the starter on his team. He has that 1-2 punch with Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt. That's going to be super awesome for Baker Mayfield, take that pressure off of him. And then as receivers, obviously Odell and Jarvis Landry, neither had a great year, but I think they could both rebound, especially when you add in that slot. They're going to have Donovan Peoples-Jones and Rashard Higgins probably watching out at those spots. I love Donovan Peoples-Jones. I can't believe they got him in the 7th freaking round. That was a steal. So he's going to be awesome. Rashard Higgins will probably start in that spot. He's solid, but I think the big addition is obviously Austin Hooper, who is, as a Falcons fan, one of top 5 tight end in the league for sure. So Austin Hooper, you also throw in, I think it's Harrison Bryant out of Florida Atlantic, a speedy guy who can catch the ball. He'll be sort of that he might end up being even like a slot receiver. He'll not be blocking a lot. He'll be doing a lot of pass catching. And Njoku's probably on his way out, so it'll be interesting to see what they get for him. But if they do keep him, you could see some interesting 3 tight end packages with Hooper and Njoku and Bryant. Overall, that offense, I love it. I freaking love that offense. Baker Mayfield has got to be excited. So that's why he is my number 1 fantasy guy you have to go after.
Stop it, Myles. You're getting me hyped. Stop it. I can't get hyped for Baker Mayfield. I can't do it. Move on.
Number 2, a guy that's super solid, another quarterback, but I think guys should reach on him early in the rounds. Joe Burrow. Rookie quarterbacks are never taken high in your fantasy drafts. Quarterbacks overall shouldn't be taken high in your fantasy drafts, but specifically in Dynasty is where I'm talking. Obviously in Standard too, but specifically in Dynasty. Okay. Joe Burrow is not only going to come in and be an immediate impact guy. I think Joe Burrow can throw 30 touchdowns, 3,000 yards in his first season. He's got A.J. Green. He's got Tyler Boyd. He's got John Ross. He's got T. Higgins. C.J. Uzomah is not a terrible tight end. He's nothing special, but, I mean, I'll take him over half the guys that a lot of these teams have. Their O-line is a little bit questionable, But I mean, Joe Burrow didn't. I mean, LSU's offensive line was good, but it was nothing. It was not even. I don't even think it was ranked top 10 in the country. So I mean, he can manage not top tier protection, which is what I love about Joe Burrow. He's mobile enough to get out of the pocket, make big throws. Then obviously Joe Mixon. I mean, Ernest loves Joe Mixon, so I'm sure he can tell you guys all about Joe Mixon. So I think you take that pressure off of Joe Burrow. It's going to be electric in Cincinnati, that offense. Their defense is definitely the main concern for me, not the offense. I love Joe Burrow. He can come in, lead right away. He proved that at LSU. He can come in right away and be an awesome player. My last guy, honestly, I was just thinking, like, who can I put with these guys? I'm not going to do another quarterback. So I'm thinking maybe I'm going another rookie here. And it's going to be because I kind of talked about him in an article I released not that long ago for TimesQ. I'm going to talk about Cam Akers, the Los Angeles Rams' new running back. The Rams obviously had a lot of issues not having Todd Gurley at full strength. Their depth was not great at all with Darrell Henderson and Malcolm Brown, John Kelly. Those guys were garbage. So Cam Akers is probably going to come in and be their starting running back. I loved Cam Akers during the whole draft process. He's a guy I was looking at super heavily. He was a guy I wanted Atlanta to get. He was a guy I wanted to go in the second round, and he did, thankfully. The Rams got an electric player here, a guy that fits their scheme perfectly, that one cut back, who as soon as he makes that cut, he'll be down the field 20, 30 yards. Now, the Rams' offensive line has been a struggle, but they made a couple pickups. They made a couple signings. They didn't really lose anyone. Obviously, they still have some solid guys there like Andrew Whitworth and Rob Havenstein, two great tackles in the league. So I think their O-line is good enough to open up those holes for Cam Akers, because all he needs is one slight gap, because once he makes it through that gap, cuts to the right, cuts to the left, he's gone. It's just home run for him. This is a guy that's going to be electric, and he can maintain that stamina because they have Darrell Henderson, who they drafted in the third round. They're going to be giving him. They still have Malcolm Brown, who's the power back, the guy who's going to be used in short yardage.
Woo,
so as long as he can maintain that electricity for the entire season, that one-cut system for him is going to work wonders. I'm talking 40, 50 yards consistently, all going to the house. I love Cam Akers. I think it's a huge pickup for the Rams. I think he'll perform better than Todd Gurley did in LA.
Wow.
I love it.
The big picks there, guys. I'm going to let you guys respond to that. How do you guys feel about those picks? The MVP, Baker Mayfield, the up-and-coming rising star, Joe Burrow, and the workhorse, Cam Akers. How do you guys feel about those picks?
Wow.
That Cam Akers one's great. Good.
Yeah, Akers is fine. I mean, I noticed when you talked about Baker Mayfield that you pointed out everyone except Baker Mayfield. So
I was talking about
it sounds like a lot of great fantasy options at all the other positions minus quarterback. But besides that, it was great.
Yeah, I think the thing with Baker Mayfield is he's going to turn down his interceptions. I think he's going to be that good quarterback because he won't turn the ball over as much, because the coach is going to come in and call those run plays, those play actions, and set him up. But Cam Akers is going to be a stud. In a dynasty league, he should be off the board in the first 5 picks. I did a mock. I had the 4th pick. He was taken before that. I mean, he's going to be legit with the Rams for sure. And, Burrows, he's solid. Odds Makers got him at 3,800 yards as a rookie.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Odd Makers actually have him in the MVP conversation, I think, at about plus 3,300 for Joe Burrow. So think about that.
He's going to toss the rock.
The hype's real.
He's going to go all over the place.
I love Burrow's receiving core, like you said, Myles, and he does have good mobility. They have a very good receiving core for him to start off working with as a rookie.
Yeah.
And if everybody listened to ITL last year, they should all have Joe Mixon on their team.
Don't get me wrong. I love both quarterbacks. I just don't think that they're going to have the record to be MVPs is all.
Yeah, well, that's why you're a basketball, right?
Whoa.
Hey, whoa.
Those are fighting words.
And shots fired over in Canada?
I'm just kidding, Kenny. I love you.
I mean, hey, you can say whatever you like, but if record's a factor in an MVP conversation, then unless Cleveland goes 11-5 or something, like
12-4.
they're going to figure out a way to give it to like Russell Wilson or Drew Brees or
Dak
somebody.
Prescott.
Fuck that.
Dak.
Drew Brees is never winning an MVP.
Dakota
Fuck
Rain.
that.
Trying to pat him
Well,
on.
Dakota Prescott.
I'm refer you guys
Dakota
to what
Prescott.
Colin Cowherd said the other day. That the most recent, he said the latest quarterback that could come out of his second year and win MVP could be Drew Lock.
Drew Lock. I was going to say Kyler Murray.
Yeah, I thought you'd say
Vaughn
Kyler
got
Murray.
hyped there with the finger pointing and
Oh,
everything.
he was so
like,
excited.
"Oh,
He was so excited.
So Lock's cool. Once he rapped the Young Jeezy, he was cool in my book.
I definitely wouldn't. I wouldn't lock that in, Cade. All right, thanks, Myles.